In this video I want to show you how to replace the fuel pump on 2010 XC60, which is probably a similar process for 2010 to 2017 XC60 and XC 2008 to 2017 XC70. So what happened was my car died, stalled on the highway. I think it's a fuel pump issue. It's not getting any fuel, cranks but won't start. I went ahead and replaced the fuel pressure sensor on the fuel rail in the engine compartment, and still didn't help. So what I'm gonna do is, normally you would have to drop the tank, which means in order to replace the fuel pump you'd have to remove the exhaust, the four-wheel drive shaft before you can drop the fuel tank. I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do instead is cut a hole under the rear seat. I marked approximately where the fuel pump is located. There is a little plug here that you can take out, and that's where the fuel pump is. You can approximately see the location of it. You can also identify the part number. If you shine a little light inside there, you'll be able to see the label on top of the fuel pump of which part you're gonna need for the replacement. Just be careful, might be some wires in here. Just push them down, make sure that you don't cut the wires or anything else. I'm just gonna use the grinder here, cut the hole to access the fuel pump, and go from there. My progress so far is I've been cutting out little pieces of metal just with standard sheet cutters. There is a double layer here, and then you have to cut around this bracket. So for now I'm just gonna keep cutting as much as I can with pliers, and once I get to a point where I need to use the grinder, I'll use it, just because you want to avoid any unnecessary risks such as heat. You know, grinder will generate heat, you're working with gas, so just be extremely careful. And again, you have these fuel lines and whatnot, so just work your way around it. I'm basically halfway there. Just need to cut around this bracket. What I'm gonna do is just cut it through here, through there, and just bend it back. I discovered that I didn't really need to use the grinder at all, just a pair of pliers for the single area, the single sheet, and then I'm gonna use this guy to cut around here, just because there's really nothing that is at risk of being damaged if I use this tool. Previously this was the risk area, this wire here and this hose here. Then there is the other hose, the fuel pressure line that goes back there. So all I'm gonna do is just I think I have enough clearance to finish the opening. Okay, I'm pretty much done with the opening. Obviously, if you do this, it'll void your warranty and all that good stuff. Always be careful, and yeah, just only do it if you feel comfortable doing it. Next thing I need to do is disconnect this plug, disconnect the fuel line, and I don't know what this is. Then there is a little clamp. I need to loosen that up in order to pull the fuel pump out. My first time doing this. I did something like this on a Volvo XC90. You can see it in my other videos, but yeah, I think in order to make this opening, it took me maybe, I want to say, an hour or less than an hour. Again, just a pair of pliers and some carpenter tools, nothing really to it. Okay, I have removed this retaining ring, which was secured by this clamp. First I had to disconnect the fuel line, which is this one, and the I don't know what this is. Anyways, this one is easy, you just squeeze here. This one is a little complicated. You have to press this outer ring in and then pull this out. It's sort of counterintuitive. Don't press in these little tabs. Just hold this ring, push it all the way in, this white one, and then pull the fuel line out. It'll come out very easily, more or less easily. Just jiggle it, do it a few times. Didn't work for me the first time. I had to try a couple of times. Disconnected the harness, and now the pump is loose. I'm gonna pull it out, disconnect the fuel lines from underneath, hook up the wires and whatnot. I have the replacement pump ready to go in. I'm gonna siphon some gas out first. My tank was pretty full when this happened, and we'll keep you posted. Good news, everyone. The car is back up and running. Installed a new fuel pump, replacement fuel pump. I didn't buy it new, bought it used on eBay, 60 bucks with free shipping. Anyways, seems like this was the issue, and I'm gonna go back and close up the hole, meaning all I'm gonna do is bend this back and slap. I'll take this duct tape off. I just used it so I don't cut myself. Slap a piece of sheet metal over here on top, you know, bend it so that it fits nicely. Put some caulking on the edges before you put the sheet metal on top. Use some sheetrock screws or rivets to secure the plate back on top. Put the rear seat on, and you're good to go. All in all, this job took me about, I want to say 4 hours total, not knowing or not having the experience. This was the first time I was doing it. The opening took me about an hour to open up. The pump itself is quite complicated to replace. Take out the old fuel lines, you know, from inside the tank, hook up the new pump. It's very tight space. The float indicator, the float ball, that the fuel level indicator, is kind of tricky. You have to move it all the way up before you can pull the pump out. Yeah, the new pump is back in the car now, and the car seems to be running fine. So looking forward to many happy miles. Thanks for watching, and all the best of luck to you, everyone. I'll post a picture or final video of the close-up area after I cut the sheet metal and put it back up. Thanks.